things to consider. At the creak of a floorboard, Jorgenson turned to see Mrs. Higginbotham walk in with a glass of water that had hardened into ice the color of a glacier.
We're having trouble with the quantum cooling thingamajig. But you know what they say, when everything is right with the world, even squirrels sing, and who wants singing squirrels?
She patted him on the shoulder.
It'll melt eventually.
Don't you find it curious, the old man asked once the housekeeper had left, that the Bonk asteroid has settled into an orbit as stable as the moon's? Jorgenson knew where this was going, but he played along anyway. Some call it luck. Some say it's divine intervention. The old man waved his hand at the very suggestion. Smoke eddied in a lazy whirlpool. It is neither, and you know it. Rather, it is part of a plan, a very human plan, devised by great minds. Unfortunately, that mind was not great enough to know what was good for it. Then the old man smiled. Which is why we will be reaping the benefits of Tesla's greatest endeavor. He pointed his cigar at Jorgenson. In the short term, it is your efforts that will make all the difference, however. Then the old man blew smoke with such force that it bridged the distance between them, filling Jorgenson's nostrils and stinging his eyes. I expect you, as the head of the Accelerati, to impress me, the old man said, with a fair measure of threat in his voice. I will settle for nothing less. Jorgenson gripped his chair as if it might fly out from under him. And in the long term, he asked. I suspect you have a plan of your own, do you not? I do, said the old man, leaning forward for the first time. A spectacular one. 2. Fat Man Floating. The world had not ended, which was very inconvenient. Celestial object Felicity Bonk, the unlikely name of the asteroid that had been on a collision course with Earth, rather than obliterating life as we know it, could now be seen in the night sky. It was nowhere near the size of the moon, of course, but it appeared larger than a planet. After a brief period of celebration lasting less than a week, the world returned to its pre-Bonk patterns. The horrors of war, oppression, and reality TV, all of which might have been ended by the well-placed meteor strike, were back in force, and Nick Slate was left having to unscrew the massive screw-up that had brought everything to the brink of extinction. He was taking that responsibility seriously. Slowly but surely, Nick and his friends were gathering the strange objects that Nick had sold in his garage sale a few weeks ago and returning them to his attic. Today's recovery mission was going to be a challenge. It would require Nick and his friend Caitlin's combined powers of persuasion, iron wills, and, most likely, money that they didn't have.
How certain are you that this is the same man from your garage sale?
Caitlin asked as she and Nick approached a house overgrown with unpruned hedges and low-limbed trees. I could be wrong, Nick told her, but I do remember a loud fat guy at the garage sale, and this dude certainly fits the bill. Caitlin glared at him.
It's cruel and insensitive to call a person who is morbidly obese a fat guy. I have an uncle who struggles with that, and I can tell you, it's not an easy cross to bear.
Sorry, Nick said. To look at Caitlin, he couldn't imagine anyone in her family being anything but beautiful and slender, or at least well-groomed and proportional. I'd call him a large gentleman, but there's nothing gentlemanly about him. He's a creep at any poundage. Caitlin nodded and sighed.
Creeps do come in all shapes and sizes.
Nick had run into him at the grocery store, where the man was bitterly arguing with the store manager over the price of a cassava melon. Nick had seen him switch a product code sticker from a less expensive piece of fruit. Although he could have ratted the man out, he let it play through, all the while awed by the guy's audacity and the fact that any human being would get into a fight over a melon. Something about the way he bickered made Nick remember how one customer had aggressively haggled over the price of an item in his, now notorious, garage sale. He realized that this was the same quarrelsome dude.
Do you remember what he bought?
Caitlin asked. Both of them were hesitant to walk up to the man's front door. I can't be sure, Nick said, but I think it was a